The country singer is already mom to sons Forrest and Eric, as well as daughter Vivienne. Jessie James Decker is giving an inside look at her nursery for baby number 4. The pregnant country singer, 35, teamed up with Creighton Kids to design an extra special nursery for her newest addition. Speaking exclusively with People exclusively about the collaboration, Decker opened up about the sweet Colorado references she added to her baby's new space and shared some of her nursery must-haves. When Creighton Kids approached me about the idea of doing our new baby's room, I just was so excited because bringing up the 4th kid thing, it had been so long since I had had a baby, she tells People. And so I was having a moment of like, okay, how do we do this again? When their design team asked me what I was feeling, I immediately just felt like a Colorado nature theme just felt right. All 3 of my kids were born in Colorado, and Colorado was very special to me and Eric, says Jessie, who is married to former Denver Broncos player Eric Decker. Our life really started in Colorado and we won't be able to have this sweet baby in Colorado, but I wanted to bring a little Colorado to Tennessee so that he didn't feel left out, she explains. And so I put together some mood boards and they sent over 3 different ideas to choose from. Noting how easy the process was, Jessie says Creighton Kids was able to match the theme perfectly. And she wasn't alone in the journey, her husband was involved quite a bit. That's kind of how he and I are, we both have our strengths. So he was really helpful as far as making sure they had the proper measurements and the proper layout of the room and made sure when we had people come to paint or do certain things, he was really hands-on on the technical part of everything, so I was really appreciative, she explains. When designing the space, there were a few things that the expectant mom knew had to make it into the space. I think it was the color scheme, she begins. They presented the color scheme, but I knew once I had seen the vision. I had to have the terracotta, I had to have an olive green. It just felt right and it really just went with the vibe. As for things she didn't think she'd need, the musician drew on her experience with her other 3 kids. I think because I'd done this so many times, I definitely knew what was necessary and what wasn't necessary, she says. But I think if anything, what has been the biggest surprise is all the new updated items that they continue to come out with that didn't exist when I started having babies 10 years ago. I'm continuously blown away by the technology and the things that they've come up with to make it easier for new mothers where I was like, wait a minute, where was this when I was starting out? As her family has snowed in the past few days due to a snowstorm in their hometown of Nashville, Jessie has been using her snow days to add the final personal touches to her nursery. We hung up a personal painting that I had done. I paint, and I used to paint all the time, she says. And before Eric and I were even married, we had been living together in Colorado and I painted this beautiful snowy scenery out of our backyard. It was just snow and mountains and beautiful trees, and the colors could not match more perfectly in this baby's room. But we hung it yesterday and it was the last little completed piece to put in his room and it just felt so right and it was just beautiful. Alongside the painting, the singer added a few personalized items she received at her baby shower, including a gorgeous homemade rosary from her mom. Her 3 other kids, sons Forrest, 5, and Eric Bubby Jr., 8, and daughter Vivienne Rose, 9, are also excited to help lend a hand in preparing the nursery. They've been such a big help, Jessie shares. What I love about this is they're really aware of what's going on. Before, whenever Forrest was born, they were still babies themselves and so they knew what was going on, but not to this level. I mean, Vivi will be 10 years old when this baby's here and if we all remember being 10, you know what's going on. And she is completely aware and so excited, and they've all been helping me in the nursery finalize things. The proud mom says that her younger son Forrest has been writing love letters to the baby as he gets ready to step into his new role as a big brother. Meanwhile, her older son Eric has become her protector. He tries to hold my hand when we're going up and down stairs or puts his hand on my back and gets worried, or he will not let me carry anything heavy because he's just paranoid, she remembers. He's like, I got it, Mom. I'll carry this. As she gets ready to welcome her little one, the proud mom says she's been feeling out of breath, but the hardest part has been dealing with pain in her hands and arms. But other than that, I'm just excited and I'm just so ready and I cannot wait to meet this little guy. And I just know we're going to be all so obsessed with him.